Hello, my angels. Welcome to another reading. This is Tarot with Hannah. I am Hannah, and I'm so happy that you guys are here to join me today. We're going to be talking about eclipses and how this eclipse cycle with the Virgo and Pisces eclipses is going to be affecting you. We're kind of specifically focusing on the current eclipses of the month, which is when I'm making this in September 2025. But if you find this at a later date in that same eclipse cycle, hello kitty, then, and it resonates, then that's totally fine too. Okay, so, quick little, I got to the end of filming the intro and realized I did not talk about what eclipses are at all, and not everyone might know what they mean in astrology. So basically eclipses are, they happen over a period of about 1.5 to 2 years in particular signs. So right now they are in Virgo and Pisces, and when we have an eclipse, they always come in pairs. So we have a Virgo and Pisces eclipse this September. So they always come in pairs. We have a Virgo and Pisces eclipses this September. And then they bring like sudden changes, pivots, plot twists. We often feel like most kind of confused, stuck, stagnant right before eclipse season happens because we're being pushed into a divine change. And then by the time eclipse season is over, sometimes it can feel like our world got a little rocked, or you might have just had like a big personal insight or things like that. It depends on where the eclipses are activating in your chart, how strongly you are feeling them. And this reading is basically to help kind of like navigate what these changes are, help kind of make the process of eclipse season a little bit easier, and which I personally like. I look forward to eclipse season because if I'm feeling like particularly like stuck or bored in an aspect of my life, like I know that it's going to come in and kind of shake things up, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, the changes aren't always easy, especially if we're resisting them. So or if you're avoiding something, then the change can kind of feel like it comes out of nowhere. So that's basically eclipses in a nutshell. Okay, before I get into picking your piles, so a couple of housekeeping things. For the month of September, I am doing a little mini reading special. So I'm doing little eclipse readings based on your chart. They're about 10-15 minutes long voice memo readings for $20. And I'm also doing mini tarot readings. So I will pull 3 tarot cards and an oracle affirmation card for you, also $20. If you want one of those, reach out to me over on Instagram at Astrology with Hannah. Just send me a DM and we'll get it sorted out. Other ways to support the channel: liking the video, subscribing is huge. You can share this video with people you know if you think that it will be helpful for them. Commenting. You can book personal readings with me on my website, readingswithhannah.com. And also, again, go check out my Instagram page at Astrology with Hannah. I'm posting stuff over there all the time. There's lots of ways to support the channel and support what I'm doing here, and I appreciate all of them. I also have a Venmo linked below, also at Astrology with Hannah. So there are innumerable ways to support, and I appreciate all of them, free or not. So, okay. I think that's everything that I wanted to share. Oh, and we do weekly readings here over on the YouTube channel. So look out for a new reading each week. And yeah, remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any. Okay, let's get into picking the piles. All right, so for pile 1, and I've pre-shuffled all the cards here. Pile 1, we have Opalite, And Saoirse jumped on the table. All right. And then for pile 2, we have Chrysocolla, or Chrysocolla, however you say it. Some blues and greens and browns in there. I love this stone. And for pile 3, sorry, the camera got all wonky with Saoirse jumping up here. Hi. We have some blue kyanite, which this stone looks different from any other blue kyanite I've ever seen, but I swear that's what it was marked when I bought it. All right, so you can go ahead and pick the crystal you are drawn to. Take as much time as you need. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, and there will be timestamps below for your pile, and I'll see you over there. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the opalite crystal, this is your reading. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I pre-shuffled your cards, so I will explain what each is as I'm putting them out. So for your current energy, we have the 4 of Pentacles. For what changes the eclipses are bringing into your life, we have the Lovers. For how you will benefit or what you'll gain from these changes, we have Sweetness. Beautiful. For what needs to fall away in order to align with your highest good, we have Laughing and Crying. And for how to nurture yourself best through this eclipse cycle, we have Cactus. Okay, pile 1, let's get into it. All right. So let's start with your current energy here. We have the 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles is kind of an energy of holding on to control. Four of Pentacles is kind of an energy of holding on to control. It's like, what are you holding on to for fear of letting go? As you can see here, the person in the card, like, they don't look like super open to new things or like super excited about even really what they've got going on. They're very kind of guarded over their 4 Pentacles, and it's like, it's a secure place to be in sort of a technical sense, but it's not really open to like different opportunities or different blessings. It's feeling kind of like boxed in almost a little bit, but it's like you're kind of like doing some of the boxing in for yourself, if that makes sense. It's kind of a closed off energy. A lot of times, you know, we can be in this energy when we've experienced difficult things. This could literally be like financial hardship or worries around finances, kind of like budgeting so intensely that it's like, you know, miserly, and you're afraid to spend anything, but it's also kind of like energetically keeping you from like bringing in more. But it doesn't have to strictly be about finances. It can just be you can apply that same energy to anything in your life. You know, if we're talking about relationships, it can be like, you know, you've been hurt in the past perhaps, and now you kind of stay guarded and keep to yourself, and you're not really open to really being vulnerable and letting a new person in because you don't want to get hurt again, which is reasonable, but you know, that's sort of part of opening yourself up to new people. You know, that you have to take that risk. So your current / recent energy is this kind of closed off energy, kind of clinging to control a little bit, not wanting to surrender control in whatever the situation is, or maybe in general in your life. Being kind of afraid of change too. Sticking with a comfort zone over being open to new things. So if any of that resonated with you, then awesome, we will move into the rest of the reading. So, and if that didn't resonate with you, I would maybe check out another pile, because that is kind of the energy check for the reading. So, okay, so for what eclipses are coming in to your life at this time, or what changes the eclipses are bringing in your life, we have the Lovers. It says divine love, deep soul connection, choice, harmony, relationships, value, alignment, unions, balance, unity, romance. So, okay, obviously the first message here is that you might be meeting someone significant, and the Lovers is a card of, soulmates and really powerful connections. And when I talk about soulmates, I do not refer to like someone that you have to be with, but rather someone who there's a powerful kind of instant connection with that person, and they're here to teach you something, whether that is meant to be forever or for a shorter period of time. We can have many soulmates in our lifetime. That's what I'm referring to when I say that, just to be clear. So you could be meeting someone at this time, or you could be strengthening a current relationship. You could just be feeling really connected to people at this time. And I would say probably, I guess actually it doesn't have to be new, but I was going to say you could be really connecting with new people at this time, because you're in this kind of Four of Pentacles energy of like not really being super open. It feels like the eclipses are kind of bringing in maybe like a connection that you weren't really expecting, that is just so strong and powerful that you can't really, it's like you can't really resist it, or you could, I guess, but it feels like kind of, why would you? The Lovers can also be a choice though. So if it's not a romantic relationship, there could be a choice that the eclipses are bringing in to make you confront. Eclipses bring in sudden shifts, changes, often things that we aren't expecting. And so maybe if in the current or previous energy you were avoiding like a decision or a change, even though you weren't really like super happy or fulfilled in the previous situation, then the eclipse is bringing in kind of like a make or break kind of moment with the Lovers. It's like kind of forcing your hand, making you make a decision toward what's actually going to make you feel fulfilled. And the Lovers is very fulfilling, whether it's a connection to another person, or to a passion project or a hobby, a career, a home, whatever it is. Like it is a very emotionally fulfilling relationship to that person or thing. So I'm also getting that like through this change process, things are actually going to end up feeling more balanced than they were before. Like this card is like not necessarily, the Four of Pentacles is not necessarily a card of like balance. Like it's security, yeah, but it's like, it's more kind of like where all your like muscles are tight and you're gripping really hard onto something. It's rather than just sort of like an ease kind of thing. And the Lovers feels more like having like more of a work-life balance, or allowing the energy to kind of flow a little bit more easily, like loosening your grip on things. And it feels like being like pleasantly surprised by what happens when you do that. Yeah. Okay. And then for what you're going to gain from this change, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Pile 1, we have sweetness with a little heart lollipop. It's like, I'm kind of getting the sense that like there is a significant relationship here, at least for a lot of you. I'm going to keep interpreting the cards in different ways. For people who that's not your story, but for a lot of people in this pile, I do think there is like a significant relationship here. Like I think you're meeting someone, or you know, investing more into a relationship with someone that is really bringing you a lot of emotional fulfillment and happiness, and it just feels really sweet. Let's see what the sweetness card says. Okay, so it says, this card is a signal to savor the sweet moments in life and to remember them when things get rough. The small things in life are often the sweetest, but they easily go unnoticed. Sweetness is always there if you look for it. Okay, so I feel like this change is bringing in more of an ability for you to really focus more on the positive things in your life. And I just saw 11:11 on the clock, rather than this kind of like more pessimistic worldview of the Four of Pentacles, which I want to also make clear that like I'm not like judging or placing blame on you for being in this Four of Pentacles energy. I've been in that many times. We all experience that energy at different points in time, like, and it's a lot of times because of things that we've experienced previously that have been challenging or hurtful situations. So I totally understand why you would be in that energy, even if I don't know your situation specifically. But it looks like you're kind of moving out of that into this more kind of just like, this almost feels like giddy to me, you know, like skipping down the sidewalk. And like, I just got this song in my head that is literally called Skipping Down the Sidewalk. And it is about being in love and being like, I'm just so happy that I'm gonna like dance around and skip down the sidewalk. Doesn't matter if anyone's watching, you know. And I just saw 222 on the clock too, which is about balance and relationships, and can be a number about love and relationships as well. But it's also harmony. And again, anything here that if you're one of the people in this pile that is like, I'm not really looking for a relationship, or like I'm already in a happy relationship or whatever, it just feels like all of your like connections and your connection with yourself being very harmonious and feeling really just at peace with where things are at, and also feeling really like joyful, like going through your day and like noticing the like stopping to smell the flowers and like noticing the little things that make you happy, all the little glimmers. It feels like a totally like a huge shift in your perspective, which is really cool. Okay, so then we have what needs to fall away in order to fully align with your highest path. So we have laughing and crying. I'm gonna read this from the guidebook because it has, if I can find the guidebook. Oh, here it is. Because it has a really interesting little description. So, okay, it says, let it all out. Cry, laugh, scream if you need to. Let your body have a full release of all that has been cooped up in there. There are those of us who will hold things in for years, and when that one thing happens that makes us cry till our body is numb, it can clean out those spider webs. It may make you feel like a crazy person, but we all do it. Okay, immediately, pile one, I'm getting the Pisces eclipse, which I am filming on Pisces eclipse day, and everyone I know has been like having an emotional roller coaster of a time, and that is so on par for Pisces full moons in general, but especially a Pisces full moon eclipse. So it's if you are feeling more emotional at this time and like kind of moody, and crying more, or just like not really know what's going on with your emotions, that is completely normal. That is a collective thing that we're experiencing at this time, and it's really kind of like a wave kind of washing over us, trying to kind of push those like stale and old feelings out of, you know, the body and our energy fields. I'm also getting a second message with this because it says laughing and crying, and we have this like transition into like this sweetness over here. I feel like letting out your emotions will then also help you kind of focus more onto the things that you're grateful for, things that feel positive, and like I'm just like seeing a lot more like laughter and like lightheartedness for you, pile one. But it feels like there's like some emotional clearing out that kind of has to happen in order to like fully step into that, which is very just on brand for eclipse season. That that totally makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so then we have cactus here for how to nourish yourself during eclipse season. And beautiful. So with this, I'm getting a strong message around setting boundaries and kind of protecting your energetic space. So like it feels like you're kind of going through a little bit of like a transformation at this time, and maybe part of the reason you were in this Four of Pentacles energy is because people want a lot of things from you. People are always asking you for help with things, and always kind of like maybe even like taking advantage of that help. And the cactus card as how to nourish yourself and take care of yourself throughout eclipse season is like really kind of setting up some energetic boundaries that like it's okay for me to have my time for myself. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be a little bit selfish right now, and like in general too, like especially if you're someone who's more empathetic and tends to give a lot to others, because in order for these flowers to bloom on the cactus, like you need to be getting the nutrients and the nourishment yourself. Otherwise, you know, you'd always be in kind of like a state of drought. And we can't have that, pile one, we can't have that. So this feels like a really like a time really focused on cultivating your kind of like inner life and like your connections with the people closest to you, and know that like you don't have to like give beyond like the bare minimum to situations that are not giving a lot back to you, you know. Yeah, and the book also says here, don't let yourself sink into feelings of resentment, of offense, when you're letting other people take what you freely give with no return. Instead, make sure to set clear boundaries you're comfortable with. Learn how freeing it can be to say no politely, of course. Yeah, I feel like those are pretty much all the messages I'm seeing. It feels like you're in kind of like a little love bubble, or like a personal self-love bubble or something, which I really love for you, especially coming out of this Four of Pentacles energy. It just feels like, because these almost feel similar to me, the cactus and the Four of Pentacles, but it's like the Four of Pentacles is like more closed off kind of entirely, whereas like the cactus is like, I'm not completely closed off, but I do have my boundaries. Like you're not going to be able to just like take advantage of me, you know? So it's like there's some openness there, but it's like only for people I trust, or like you have to kind of earn that trust. So it feels like a subtle kind of shift from that Four of Pentacles energy into kind of a more like grounded cactus energy, where you are really understanding your worth and how valuable your time and energy is, and only kind of giving to things that really fill your cup, that really make you feel like really happy, really fulfilled. So, okay, I love that for you, pile one. This is like, talk about a positive change. Okay, awesome. If you enjoyed the reading, if it resonated, I would so appreciate if you could like the video, comment on the video, let me know how it resonated for you. Subscribe to the channel, that is huge for supporting the channel. And again, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, readingswithhannah.com, or book a mini reading with me in the month of September over at on Instagram at Astrology with Hannah. Just send me a message. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful eclipse season, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile two. Welcome to your reading. I just tried to start the reading and my camera was like upside down. And so I thought that might be significant. Maybe you feel like things are getting a little turned upside down right now, or going a little crazy. I forgot to light the candle. Okay. There we go. It's better. Okay. Welcome to your reading. We are going to talk about how the eclipses are affecting you, and we're going to do a little energy check at the very beginning to make sure that this is your pile. All right, so our energy check card is the Seven of Cups in reverse. So the Seven of Cups is kind of a confusing energy. It is about having a lot of different options and not really knowing what to choose. Sorry, the cicadas are like screaming today. So yeah, it's like having a lot of different options, not really knowing which one is the right one. And kind of getting like decision fatigue, or just feeling kind of like overwhelmed, confused, even kind of like lethargic, and like, yeah, just kind of like not really sure which way to go. So when it comes out in reverse, there's kind of two different meanings with this. One can be kind of like almost like a laser focus, like feeling like you are really super clear on the path ahead, and know exactly where you're going, and you're super focused. And if that's you, amazing. However, I kind of feel like that's not a lot of people here, because we are talking about eclipse season, and often we feel most kind of like stuck and confused right before eclipse season takes place. So the other interpretation of this, it can be kind of just like a doubling down of the energy I already talked about, and I just saw 222 on the clock. So just feeling like almost like, I'm hearing the word like delusional, like not really knowing like which, like almost literally feeling like things have been turned upside down to the degree where you're just like, I don't even know which way is up and which way is down, and like I'm not really sure of the path forward. I just feel really confused. So if that is how you're feeling, pile two, then you're in the right place. And we're going to get into how these eclipses are, what changes they're bringing in for you, how that's going to benefit you, what needs to be released in order to be aligned with your highest path, and also how to nurture yourself through eclipse season. So let's get into it here. So with what changes the eclipses are bringing in for you, we have the Three of Wands. I love this for you because this coming after this energy of confusion, the Three of Wands is all about progress. It's about planning ahead, knowing the path ahead, optimism, confidence, moving forward, and yeah, progressing. it says expansion, confidence, progress, new horizons, growth, foresight, and milestones. So you are coming out of this confused energy. The eclipses are bringing you clarity. You might have this through, it could be through like just an insight, like something happens that suddenly kind of shifts your perspective, perspective, and then like the path is suddenly clear and you're like, okay, now I know what I need to do. Sometimes we have to kind of like sift through that murky energy in order to get to a place of clarity. It could also be maybe that like something happens outside of you that then like answers your question or highlights what the path ahead is. But whatever this is progress on a goal that you've been working on. This is yeah, like making headway, reaching sort of like initial goals. It's not necessarily like reaching like the big final goal, but it is making solid steps along the journey. And I want to share like, so the eclipses, where we're at in the eclipse cycle right now, in terms of like the broader 2-year eclipse cycle, with the Virgo and Pisces eclipses, we are right in the middle because they started in September of 2024 and they will continue. We will have the very last Virgo eclipse, I think, in February of 2027, but we'll have the last Pisces eclipse a year from now. So in, I think, August or September of 2026. So we're kind of right in the middle of this big 2-year long cycle of changes. So it's like we are not right at the beginning. We are making progress. We are making headway on the path, but we're not quite to like the end game position yet. And so that's kind of the 3 of Wands position, but it's a very optimistic, confident card, and so I like that for your energy. I feel like you're coming out of the state of confusion and feeling a lot clearer about what your kind of next steps are, and you're taking action on those next steps. So how these changes that the eclipses are bringing benefit you, what you're gaining from them. We have passion. Oh my gosh. Okay, period. So and the wand suit is all about passion and creativity. So you are really stepping into a new energy of feeling more lit up, feeling more passionate, feeling more confident in yourself, your abilities, and really being very action oriented. I see you kind of just like, again, like this kind of once you get the clarity you need on what the next step is, you just keep taking steps forward, you keep taking action, and it just fuels you even more. So I see the fire being relit, feeling more excited about life again, about your goals, your dreams again, feeling like there's been a shift, whether that's internally or externally, that is making it easier to go after whatever this goal is that you're working on. So that's beautiful. And then the next card we have is what needs to be released in order to fully align with your highest path. So we have in between worlds. Ooh, okay. Interesting. I'm going to read this from the Iris Oracle deck. See what it says here. Okay, in between worlds, it says, this card is in honor of those who walk on the edge between 2 worlds. Edge walkers can have a hard time functioning in the structures set out for them because part of their job is to blur the lines that hold us in form. They may feel crazy, like, how did I get here and why? When you are neither one nor the other, there can be a loss of belonging and a difficulty to feel grounded. Part of your magic is that you are not all here. Wouldn't it be easy to just fit into place and go about your life with ease like you are just floating on through? Unfortunately, that's not for you. It doesn't mean that you won't find peace in your life, which can very much be a reality for you. Oh, peace can be a reality for you. Okay, I was like, what? Part of your job, by having a connection to a world outside of ours, is to bring wisdom. But discovering new truths isn't always easy for people to stomach. So with this knowledge, try to be gentle even when you feel like you must crush down every falsehood in front of you. Interesting. Okay. So one of the things that needs to be released. One of the things that needs to be released is this, there's like a self-doubt around, or like an insecurity around like being different. And you are different, pile 2, but it's not like, it's a good thing. It's a gift, you know, and I know sometimes it can feel a little bit more like a curse than a gift, because it's hard to feel misunderstood by people, and it's hard to, you know, not see your path reflected in the paths of the people around you. However, you are on a higher path here. You have wisdom to share with the world. You're very psychic, you're very intuitive. And so you might have had experiences in your life where, you know, other people didn't really understand that, or you just see things kind of differently from other people, because you have this wisdom and this connection to something that we can't see, you know, even if it's just kind of like a gut feeling. And people might not always understand that, and that might have led you down a path that's really different, again, from a lot of people around you. Definitely not like, I'm getting like you're not on like a traditional path. You're doing something more unconventional, potentially even something that is spiritual or creative or something like that. And, you know, it's hard when we see so much around us of people doing kind of like the 9 to 5 and like the same kind of thing, and having to kind of forge your own path. But it also feels like, pile 2, that 1111, as I'm saying this, that you feel like you have to be true to yourself, and like you have to be your own individual and be authentic to what your heart wants. Because that is more difficult than you know, or sorry, that suppressing that would be more difficult than you know, dealing with people kind of not understanding you and things like that. Like when we don't listen to our heart and what our soul needs, that becomes a lot more painful than just, you know, being misunderstood by people or things like that. So you're a leader in some field, some capacity, and you're making progress in that goal, and you're not going to see a lot of people doing the same thing as you, because what you're doing is different. But that's because you're a leader. That's because you're kind of paving the way in this new direction, in order for other people to kind of see you and kind of follow what you're doing, whether that's just being inspired by you or literally going down the path that you're going down. But it feels like I'm seeing the 2 hands here, and I'm seeing like actually like one of them being you and one of them being like someone else who like needed to meet you or hear your wisdom, be influenced by you. So maybe you're like like maybe you have like an online presence, or you know, you teach in some way, or things like that, or maybe you just lead by example. But I'm getting what needs to be released around this is doubting yourself and not seeing your own worth, because maybe you don't get a lot of external validation around what you're doing, because it's not like the traditional path. But that doesn't make it any less worthy of a path. In fact, it makes it a very powerful path to be walking, because again, you are paving the way for not only yourself but other people. So and I'm seeing 55 here, which talks about change. So it's, you know, you are making progress, pile 2. You are, I know sometimes it can feel like, oh, I'm just sort of treading water, but like your guides really want you to know that like you are improving. You are not in the same place you were a year ago, or, you know, 5 years ago, or whenever, maybe even last week, I don't know, but you are growing and changing and improving, and with that, your confidence is improving, and you're stepping further into this role. And so you're needing to kind of let go of some of these questions around like, can I really do this? And is this really meant for me? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. File 2. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. This is kind of reminding me too of pile 2 from the last reading I did, the elements one. It feels like it's like the same kind of energy. So let me know if you picked that pile 2. But no worries if not. Okay. And then the last card is going to be how you can best nurture yourself through this eclipse season. So we have Bluebird and Helicopter Seed. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting is the helicopter seeds. I'm being like, mentally in my mind, I'm being shown an image of the playground that that was like at my school, my elementary school. And we had trees that had these little helicopter seeds, and they would fly down to the ground when they would come off the tree. They kind of like fly like that, you know? And we would have so much fun kind of like picking them up and throwing them and like watching them all kind of like spin down to the ground again. So it's just like a really sweet little memory, and it's making me think of like nurturing your inner child, really doing things to connect with. Maybe there's like old hobbies or interests, things that you liked to do when you were a kid that you don't get to do very often anymore. Anything you can do that kind of like makes you feel like a kid again, makes you feel joyful, reminds you of your childhood in a positive way. Like I'm getting that really strongly. Yeah, and then let's see what the little booklet says here. Okay, so it says, oh my gosh, funny, it says pleasure, which is like what I was just saying. Okay, so key points: pleasure, vitality, beauty, gratitude. This bluebird is a powerful messenger from spirit, believed to represent guides who are watching over you, vibrant creatures in a world of drab browns and grays. They seem designed to catch your eye, which literally is also what I was saying before about like you're on a different path, like you are on a unique path. And just because, you know, you're a peacock and all you see around you is pigeons, that doesn't mean that you're wrong for being a peacock. Like, no, pile 2. Okay. They seem designed to catch your eye, to bring some color and light to your day. Helicopter seeds are creative energy given speed and motion, harnessing the air to travel far and wide in a beautiful vortex. The trials of life can bring you down, but they don't need to. Flip the script and try to make the day work for you instead. Take some time to consider the blessings of the world, the beauty of nature and life itself, the advantages that you have, even at difficult times. Trust that even these have their purpose, and use gratitude to bring positivity and energy to you as you walk your path. Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, really focusing on what tools we do have at our disposal, you know, what you do have to feel gratitude for, and being really tapped into that like inner source of joy and creativity that we always have within us, that passion. That is going to be really nurturing for you through eclipse season. And I think just like allowing yourself to be a little bit more lighthearted, like not having to take everything so seriously, like trusting that like the universe has got you. They're not gonna let anything, you know, bad happen to you. Like, there are some things that we go through for lessons, but like they're not going to, you know, they're not really gonna let you fall. You're very watched over at this time, very protected, and so they just want you to kind of like enjoy your life a little bit more and like have a little more fun and believe in yourself and whatever it is here that you're working on. Like, it is going to be successful. I'm hearing divine timing. So, you know, again, I feel like we're kind of like somewhere in the middle of the path or the cycle, making headway, reaching certain milestones, but we're not necessarily at like the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Cups yet, but you're on your way to that destination. But I think this is a lot about kind of like prioritizing the journey over the destination, or at least with equal regard, you know, because ultimately, like, we can't live our lives based only on running after each new destination. Like, most of our lives are the in-between, and I need to take my own advice on that file too. So okay, awesome. I think those are all the messages I have for you guys. If the reading resonated, if it helped you, I would so appreciate if you would like the video, comment on the video, let me know how it resonated. It helps. Liking, commenting, and subscribing all help the growth of the channel. They're super, super helpful. I appreciate it a lot. There's also other ways to support me and the channel. I have my business Venmo linked below at Astrology with Hannah. You can catch me over on Instagram. I'm posting all kinds of fun stuff over there, also at Astrology with Hannah. For the month of September, I'm doing little mini readings, both tarot and astrology. They're $20 each, so you can reach out to me over on Instagram if you're interested in one of those. And you can also book other readings with me on my website, readingswithhannah.com. Those readings go a lot more in depth, and they're awesome. So, okay, thank you so much, Pile 2. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the blue kyanite, then this is your pile. All right, and we are going to be looking at the Virgo and Pisces eclipses and what changes they are bringing into your life. We're going to also look at how you can benefit or what you'll gain from these changes, what needs to be released in order to align with your highest path, and how to best nurture yourself during eclipse season as well. Okay, let's get into it. So I've pre-shuffled the cards here, and we're gonna start with your current energy. So if this first card that I talk about sounds like what you are currently or recently experiencing, then you have found your pile. If it doesn't sound like what you have been going through recently or what you're currently experiencing, you might want to pick a different pile, or there might just not be a reading here for you today. Never force a message, but hopefully it resonates, and let's get into it. Okay, so your first card for your current energy, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay, cool. So the Four of Cups, when it's upright, talks about kind of feeling like despondent, bored. I mean, you can kind of look at this person like they're kind of like over it, like their cups are kind of spilled over, they're empty, they're just not really, there actually is like water here that they could fill the cups up with, but they're just kind of like, no, like you keep giving me empty cups and like I'm over it. So that's kind of the energy when it's upright, but you got it in reverse. So it feels like you're coming out of a period of maybe feeling that way. So coming out of a period where nothing was really happening, where maybe you were facing some disappointments, things that just felt really discouraging, yeah, disappointing. I just saw 222 on the camera timer, so confirmation. Things might have felt like imbalanced and just like maybe you're putting effort into things and not really seeing results. And just kind of, it's just like a frustrating energy. And it's sort of like after you experience a series of disappointments, you learn, it's kind of like the concept of learned helplessness, where you then, you learn eventually to just kind of stop trying to fill up the cup, even though the water's right there, you know? So you're coming out of a period that might have been really frustrating and disappointing. And you're experiencing more hope, feeling more hopeful, feeling like, okay, maybe actually things are gonna get better, like things are starting to change. You might start to see little things in your environment or in your reality that are reflecting that change is coming. Yeah, I would say if this is your message, like you've been in this kind of disappointing energy, but you've started to feel recently, or you're about to start feeling like change is around the corner, things are getting better. It's sort of the early signs of change, and starting to feel more optimistic about what's coming. Yeah, okay. I think if that resonates with you, then we will get into the rest of the cards here. So the next cards that I pulled, you actually got two, so don't tell the other piles because you got more cards than everybody else. The next question I asked was, what are the changes that the eclipses are bringing? So we got the Three of Cups in reverse, and then the 10 of Cups. Okay. We have all cups so far. So there's a lot of like emotion here. I feel like you're really focused on your emotional fulfillment at this time. Like, are the things that I'm doing, are the people that are in my life emotionally fulfilling me? With the Three of Cups in reverse, this talks about potentially leaving a situation that isn't really supportive for you. It could be a situation where there was drama, and because the Three of Cups can talk about friend circles or dating situations. And with it coming out in reverse, I'm really being drawn to where it says independence at the top of the card. Like, it feels like you're really embodying this kind of like individuality. But then we also have the 10 of Cups coming out with it, which is happiness. Like, this is like one of the best cards in the deck. For this to come in as the change that the eclipses are bringing in for you, it says happiness, divine love, blissful relationship, harmony, alignment, family, love and support, fulfillment, emotional stability, and domestic joy. So obviously everyone's situation here is going to be different. You know your situation better than I do, but it seems like some kind of dynamic is changing so that you can feel more emotionally fulfilled, so that it can be more harmonious, happier. That could be you leaving a friend group and moving toward like a new social circle that makes you a lot happier. It could also be like leaving, it could be any kind of particular environment, could even be like a job or something like that, but whatever it is, even if it's not like you're leaving a whole group of people, maybe you're leaving a dynamic within a relationship. Maybe you're setting a boundary here and saying this needs to change in order for you know, this to work. Whatever this change is, what's getting left behind is something that was unfulfilling, and it's bringing in something that is way better. Like, even if the Three of Cups was upright, it would still be not as happy as the Ten of Cups. I mean, this is like, whatever is leaving your life, it's being replaced by something much, much better. The Ten of Cups is like, yeah, feeling totally just like happy, emotionally fulfilled, really connected to other people, connected to what lights you up. It's just a beautiful energy. So, okay, it's kind of obvious what you would gain from that, but let's see the next card. I asked what you would be gaining from the changes that the eclipses are bringing in. Oh my God, pile 3. What? You guys got a crazy reading. Okay, it says love, a little heart. Oh my gosh. So, wow, that is actually crazy. So, okay, I want to first off say, it doesn't have to be romantic love, although it can be that. Take what resonates for your situation. Whatever this is, it feels like you're coming out of this period where we have like the Four of Cups and the Three of Cups reversed, where like you're just not really feeling satisfied in your connections, and you're moving into an energy that is like super satisfied in your connections, like overflowing with love, feeling really, really supported by your community, by your family, by your loved ones, whoever is in your life, and just feeling, yeah, really, it's just very positive. Like, it's a radiant kind of energy. Let's see if the book has anything else to add. It says, when this card arises, it's a sign to notice the love that exists in your life, whether as romantic, platonic, or familial love, or even an intense interest. Where and how is love manifesting in your life, and how can you embrace it? Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty straightforward message, pile 3. Gorgeous. These have been kind of short readings. They've been kind of straight to the point. So, okay, so the next cards, which you also, this is crazy. Look how many doubles you got. Okay, this might be a relationship, because none of the other literally not any of the other piles got a single double card, and you guys got 3 double cards, which can represent like partnerships and things. And I just saw 1010 on the camera timer. This is literally crazy. So the next category is what needs to be released in order to align with your highest path. So there's somebody outside. So it says volcano and afraid of the attic. Okay, we have a lot of pink happening in the spread. Okay, so I know the volcano card is kind of about like, it's like something is brewing, something like magical is brewing within you that's like about to blow. And I'm like, okay, I'm also getting that like maybe it's felt like nothing has been happening for such a long time. Like you've been in kind of like a period of like stagnancy or like boredom, like, oh my God, literally nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden it like you meet someone, or a sudden shift happens where it just changes everything, and your reality is like completely different from how it was like 2 days ago, you know? And it might feel like a lot at first, like with the afraid of the attic card, like it might be like, oh my gosh, I'm like not used to this, like this is really different. But I feel like if that's the case, like you get over that pretty quickly. So And then let's see here. So for the volcano card, it says, it's been building for a while now, and you are ready to burst out with a bang. They better watch out for you, sweetheart, because you are about to bring the fire. If they aren't on your page, they better start running because it's time for your takeover. Before you let out all that passionate, moving, fiery force, you might feel a bit stressed or cranky. It's just because the pressure is building. And guess what? Your stress and those uncomfortable feelings are just part of this process. It's hard to be patient when you have fire in your belly, but you'll be letting it loose real soon. Gorgeous. And Afraid of the Attic, it says, if our body is a house, the attic is our cranium, holding in stress, anxiety, repetitive negative thoughts that build over time. Your mind has a lot of power. If you want to, you can stuff all the things you're avoiding into a cramped corner in the attic. If you make this a habit, that little shoebox of stresses becomes many shoeboxes until it's taking up more and more space. It develops to feel like it's not you, that those things you have stuffed up there have become their own monster tormenting you. To avoid fear, it's time for some house cleaning, one step at a time. You put that entire gunk up there so you can dissolve it as well. Just start with one thing. If you find yourself afraid, take a breath and ask why. Is it a fear for your safety, or is it an anxiety that you put up in the attic and left there to multiply? Okay, so because this came out with what you're meant to release, it feels like maybe there is some anxiety or like subconscious gunk that's kind of sitting below the surface, that needs to be addressed. Otherwise it might like explode over the top and make things kind of difficult. I'm not getting that like it's gonna block this blessing or anything like that, but it just feels like it might take away some of the like joyful feelings, and it might also be kind of like part of the issue with what's contributing to this like Four of Cups energy. Like when speaking from personal experience, when you have like a lot of anxiety and unaddressed things like that left up in your mind, like it kind of eats at you a little bit on like a daily basis. It's a weight that you carry around, that makes everything that you experience a little bit heavier, and so eventually you have to look at the monster in the attic here, because ultimately you deserve to experience life in a lighter way, where you're not carrying this heavy stuff around all the time, and you are more than capable of addressing and facing these fears and dissolving them, and doing the healing there that's necessary. If you need support around that is completely fair. Therapy can be helpful, or just like journaling, looking up, like there's like a lot of really good, easily accessible kind of therapy techniques for anxiety, like CBT. There's like books you can buy, like journal workbooks and stuff like that for anxiety or particular fears, whatever you kind of need to do to kind of release this. Maybe it's not that deep, maybe it is for you, but it just feels like the mind getting in the way a little bit here, and some like old fears that are being held on to that are ready to be released, because they don't really serve you anymore. It's like we have, like, fear is a natural and normal response that helps us sometimes protect us from things that we need protecting from, but also like anxiety, ultimately it's like you can kind of have a conversation with your anxiety and be like, thank you for trying to protect me from this thing, but like I'm safe, I'm okay, and I don't need you to protect me from that anymore, so I release you. Like that kind of work around it. So yeah, okay, cool. And then the last chunk here is how to best nurture yourself during eclipse season. So we have String of Pearls and Feather and the Universe. I'm gonna put these, sure. All the other piles their spreads look totally different because they have like half the amount of cards as you guys, but that's okay. Okay, so String of Pearls and Feather. Actually, I keep seeing feathers lately. Maybe keep an eye out if you see feathers. That's like a sign from your guides that they're with you, and that maybe that these blessings and things are coming in soon, or that they're just trying to communicate with you in general. Okay, String of Pearls and Feather. If I can find it in the book. There we go. Okay. It says, behaving ethically, restoring karmic balance. The wearing of pearls is considered to enhance your beliefs and values, promoting purity, chastity, and happiness. They are also believed to help balance karma and strengthen truthful relationships. Feathers are symbols of spiritual messengers, even of angels, often representing a need to listen to the higher realms. What did I say? When it seems as though unethical behavior is rewarded in so many areas of our lives, it can be tempting to lower your own standards. We all make mistakes, act in ways we regret later. But the karmic price eventually comes due. So consider before you act how this will affect yourself and others. The decision you would make if you knew someone was watching. Make ethical behavior your priority at this time. Okay. And let's look at the Universe card. Okay. It says, power, magnitude, possibility. The secrets and mysteries of the universe don't always make sense while you're living in the moment, experiencing each situation as it happens. Cosmic energies are vast and momentous, unfathomable to one person staring out into the darkness. But looking back, you usually realize that all things happen for a reason, and one day you will view this in the same way. Right now, the universe is demanding your attention, asking you to consider the sheer magnitude of what is possible. To think about all the things that you could achieve, but also how much you want this, how much you're willing to change your world, your universe, in order to achieve it. What sacrifices are you willing to make in order to get what you want most? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So how to best nurture yourself with these two energies? It feels like one of the ways is really putting yourself first, because it talked about kind of going after what you want for yourself, achieving your dreams, believing that they're possible. And so really kind of like pouring yourself into whatever you feel passionately about, whatever your dreams and goals are, could be very helpful at this time. That might also be something that kind of brings you out of this Four of Cups energy. Sometimes we have to take action even when we don't feel like doing it, and then it's the act of taking the action that creates momentum and makes us want to keep going. I'm also feeling like with the Feather and the Universe here, just in general, it feels like a good self-care practice could be, meditating, talking with your guides, whatever kind of makes you feel connected to the universe. And I just saw 2121 on the clock. That could be a significant number. Someone could be 21. But yeah, so, yoga, meditation, journaling to your higher self, whatever it is that kind of makes you feel connect, maybe pulling your own cards, prayer, rituals. There's all kinds of ways to feel connected to the universe. Just being in nature is a huge one. Going and sitting under a tree and asking the trees to give you their energy. I do that every single time I go to the park. I ask the trees to give me their energy, and they always happily oblige, and then I feel so much better. I feel so light, so connected, so supported. So that might be something that would be helpful to try. Yeah, and if anxiety or things being unclear is getting the better of you at this time, I think the message around like karma and like ethical behavior, I think what that was trying to get at was just that know that what you put out, you get back, and you're putting out a lot of really loving energy, and that is going to come back to you. And the wheel is turning. I'm actually seeing this little guy that I have over here. It was a gift from my dad. It's like a Chinese zodiac calendar or something. But I'm seeing it like the wheel turning, like the Wheel of Fortune. And that card is all about how our luck is always changing. Like there's cycles are always shifting. So we physically cannot be in a period of like bad luck forever. Like that's just not how it works. And also like karma is real, even if you don't always see the way that someone receives their karma. Like trust that the universe has that covered. We don't need to go seeking our own ways of giving other people karma. But obviously, well, okay, yeah, no, I'm not gonna get into that. So, okay, cool. Interesting. That's kind of you have so many cards, pile 3, but I kind of want to pull you one more for the nurturing thing, just because that was kind of a weird message. So I'm gonna grab you one more card here. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. So it says, I know that it is important to celebrate each win, no matter how big or small. I am celebrating me. Okay, I love this. So, okay, that kind of goes with the energy of like putting yourself first, focusing on your dreams and goals. So celebrating like each little win, and some self-care is not always baths and little fruit plates and things like that, but sometimes it is. And so I'm kind of getting like to do that. Like I'm like, have your little luxurious moments. They don't have to actually be, expensive or things like that. It can be, taking a bath and reading a book, or, buying like a little dessert because you feel like it, or whatever is like a little luxury to you. Like you are, I think, indulging in those things at this time is a great way to nurture yourself through the eclipse season. So okay, pile 3, those are all the messages I have for you guys. I hope this message resonated. I hope that it was helpful. If it was, I would love it if you would like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. All those things are super, super helpful for the growth of the channel and supporting my business. And you can book personal readings with me at readingswithhannah.com. You can also check me out on Instagram at astrologywithhannah. We're doing mini readings, $20, both astrology readings and tarot readings for the whole month of September 2025. So hit me up over on Instagram if you're interested in one of those. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.